Cincinnati is knocking on the doorstep of the college football playoffs this year, currently sitting at 8-0. They are a school that is known for their defense, but this year their offense is averaging 40.9 points per game, which ranks 14th in the nation. A lot of the credit has to go to starting quarterback Desmond Ridder, who is quickly rising up draft boards. But who is Desmond Ritter? In the Who Is series, we go through the backstories of up-and-coming collegiate and pro athletes. If you enjoy these videos, leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If there's a player you want to see in future videos, comment it below. I want to thank Cole Adams for joining me in this video. Desmond Ritter is originally from Louisville, Kentucky. His mother Sarah had him at age 15 while she was still in high school. He was unplanned, but his mother took great care of him. Sarah told Sports Illustrated, "We pretty much grew up together. We are best friends." His mother let him learn things on his own, let him be independent, but guided him when he needed help. Ritter's father unfortunately was not in the picture, but Ritter and his mother lived with his grandmother in the Highlands neighborhood of Louisville, along with his aunt, uncle, and their adopted child. Desmond credits his grandmother for teaching him how to throw a football. She showed him how to grip the ball and deliver a spiral. Something I never knew but learned while researching this video is that Catholic youth football leagues are a big deal in Louisville. The neighborhood parish teams have become feeders for high schools in the area. There are 8 large Catholic high schools in Louisville, and the 2 powerhouses are St. Xavier, also known as St. X, and Trinity. These 2 teams actually play their annual rivalry game at the University of Louisville football stadium, and crowds can reach up to 40,000 people. Desmond always thought he was going to go to St. X, but Holy Cross, a smaller school, started recruiting him, selling him on the idea he was going to be a big fish in a small pond. To attend these schools, you need to take a prep exam. On the day of the exam, Desmond was still undecided. While his mother was driving to the schools, she asked Desmond where they were going, and he answered, "Take a left on the interstate, we are going to Holy Cross." That was the plan until Holy Cross got in trouble with the athletic board for recruiting players outside the county. As a result, Ritter decided to attend St. X instead. Will Wolford was the head coach at St. X. He was a former All-Pro lineman who actually attended St. X himself. He gave his quarterbacks an opportunity to throw the ball often through the spread offense and shotgun rather than running an archaic offense. While at St. X, Ritter became a student of the game. During practices, he wore a GoPro on his helmet and studied the film after. Between his freshman and sophomore year, he grew from 5'10 and 135 pounds to 6'4 and 185 pounds, which has become a legendary story in Louisville. He credits his growth from eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches his coaches recommended. While at St. X, he became a starter, but never really a star. As a junior, Desmond threw for 1,319 yards and 9 touchdowns, as well as rushing for 668 yards and 12 more touchdowns on the ground. During his senior year, he only threw for 951 passing yards and 10 touchdowns, while also rushing for 915 yards and 18 touchdowns on the ground. Desmond Ritter was a 3-star recruit by 24/7 Sports and a 2-star recruit by Rivals. He was the 10th best recruit in Kentucky, 116th rated athlete in the nation, and 1,657th best recruit nationally. He attended camps at Louisville and Kentucky but was never offered by either school. He believed he was a Division I caliber quarterback and just needed a team to give him an opportunity. One day during lunch, the offensive coordinator at St. X told him that a coach from Cincinnati wanted to drive the 100 miles down to see him throw the following day. The problem was, the next day happened to be Kentucky Oak Day, the day before the Kentucky Derby. Oak Day is known as Louisville's Day at the Races and is a holiday in Louisville where everything shuts down so everybody could go to Churchill Downs to watch horse races for cheaper than the Kentucky Derby. Ritter needed to round up and persuade some friends to go throw with him before the races, and that is exactly what he did. The throwing session went well, and after, Ritter and his buddies went to the track. Later that day, Desmond got a call from Tommy Tuberville, the head coach at Cincinnati at the time, while he was hanging out with his friends in the infield of the track. Ritter needed to sneak off to a quiet place, and the only choice he had was a porta potty. Desmond Ritter received his first and only offer from Cincinnati while sitting in a porta potty. A few weeks later, he decided to commit to Cincinnati before the start of his senior season so he could focus on his team's season. Although Tuberville was fired after the season, Luke Fickell still wanted Ritter, and he signed with the Bearcats on signing day. Ritter redshirted his freshman year, but beat out senior Hayden Moore the following season. In his first game as a starter, Ritter led Cincinnati to an upset win over UCLA in the Rose Bowl Stadium. He played in 13 games that season and threw for 2,445 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions while completing 62.4% of his passes. He also rushed for 583 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Cincinnati went 11-2 that season and beat Virginia Tech in the Military Bowl. During his redshirt sophomore year, Ridder threw for 2,164 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, while also rushing for 650 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Cincinnati went 11-3 and beat Boston College in the Birmingham Bowl. Due to Ridder's struggles towards the end of the season, Fickell decided to hold an open competition at the quarterback position going into the season. Desmond Ridder held on to his job and beat out both Ben Bryant and Evan Prater for the job. Well, it paid off, and to talk about the success Cincinnati has had this season with Desmond Ridder, I'd like to welcome Cole Adams, whose channel is in the description below. He makes amazing content, so go subscribe to his channel.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Cole Adams, and thank you for watching this video by Embrace the Grind. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for him. But for right now, let's talk a little bit about Desmond Ridder. I know you've already heard a lot about his backstory, but Cincinnati is having one of their best seasons in program history, and it is awesome to see. The only problem is, though, will they get a chance at the national championship? That remains to be seen. They have to finish out the season strong, maybe even play a quick game versus BYU to create a winner-take-all matchup scenario to possibly get that last spot in the college football playoff. It's definitely disappointing college football playoff will not be expanded this year. They're basically the only league in sports that hasn't decided to do so, and man, it just really sucks if you're a college football fan. But Cincinnati has been awesome this year thanks to Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder brings back the Tony Pike era Cincinnati Bearcats led by Brian Kelly. And Luke Fickell, their head coach currently, is doing an incredible job. Cincinnati is so much fun to watch. It's been a blast watching them every single weekend. They're a battle-tested team. They've gone down and have come back. They've played with the lead. They've done it all. And I do think they deserve to be in the college football playoff. And Desmond Ridder is one of the best quarterbacks you probably have really never heard about. And what's really cool about Desmond Ridder is that he was actually kind of recruited by current Cincinnati Bengals head coach Zac Taylor. Yes, Zac Taylor was the offensive coordinator the year Desmond Ridder signed at Cincinnati. So even though if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I know you probably don't like Zac Taylor. But if you are a Bengals fan, you probably like the Bearcats, so you at least have to be thankful for that. Because without Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati would not be a playoff contender. He is an outstanding, solid quarterback for the Bearcats. I think he has been a huge reason why they are a college football playoff contender. Despite having a really good head coach in Luke Fickell and a great defense, Desmond Ridder solidifies their offense, and I think the Cincinnati Bearcats should be in the college football playoff.
Thanks, Cole. Like I said, go check out his channel in the link below. Cincinnati is currently sitting at 8-0 and ranks as the 7th best team in the nation in the AP poll. Ridder has thrown for 1,821 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, as well as rushing for 526 yards and 11 touchdowns on the ground. Desmond Ridder is quickly rising up draft boards, and I recommend keeping an eye on both him and the Bearcats the rest of the season. If you like this video, check out my other videos in the Who Is series. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and remember to embrace the grind.